James K. Polk unveiled astonishing revelations about America's 11th president. James Knox Polk, the 11th President of the United States, is often remembered for his significant achievements, such as territorial expansion and the Mexican-American War. However, beneath the surface of his presidency lie several scandalous, shocking, and intriguing facts that paint a more complex picture of this pivotal figure in American history. Here are 10 of the most eyebrow-raising details about his life and presidency. Fact number 1. The dark side of manifest destiny. James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, served from 1845 to 1849, a period marked by significant expansion and controversy. Polk is often associated with the doctrine of manifest destiny, which advocated for the expansion of the United States across the North American continent. His administration oversaw the annexation of Texas in 1845, a move that followed the Republic of Texas's 1836 Declaration of Independence from Mexico. The Oregon Territory was acquired through negotiations with Britain, culminating in the 1846 Oregon Treaty, which established the 49th parallel as the northern boundary between the United States and British North America, now Canada. Number 2. The Mexican-American War controversy. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, a central event of Polk's presidency, began after American troops were moved into disputed territory between the Nueces River and the Rio Grande, leading to clashes with Mexican forces. The war ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, through which the U.S. gained territories that would become California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Texas. This expansion was achieved at a significant human cost and raised ethical questions regarding war and territorial conquest. Number 3. A presidency without pleasure. Polk's presidency was also characterized by his personal work ethic. He famously worked 10 to 12 hours daily, rarely took breaks, and was determined to achieve his goals within a single term. This dedication to duty had a severe impact on his health, leading to his decision not to seek a second term. Polk died in June 1849, just 3 months after his presidency ended, one of the shortest post-presidency lifetimes in American history. Number 4. The Slaveholder President. Despite his achievements in office, James K. Polk's legacy is deeply marred by his ownership of slaves. A plantation owner in Tennessee and Mississippi, Polk's wealth and status were built on the exploitation of enslaved African Americans. His administration, while progressive in terms of territorial expansion and economic policy, never challenged the institution of slavery. In fact, his policies, including the expansion into territories where the question of slavery's extension would ignite fierce debate, contributed to the nation's slide towards civil conflict. Polk's personal and political entanglement with slavery underscores the profound contradictions and moral complexities of his era, reflecting the enduring struggle to reconcile the ideals of liberty and justice with the realities of a society built on systemic inequality and oppression. Number 5. The Oregon Territory Dispute. During James K. Polk's presidency, the Oregon Territory dispute was a focal point of his expansionist policy. The slogan 54-40 or fight emerged from Polk's 1844 campaign, signifying the latitude line, 54 degrees 40 minutes, to which the United States claimed territory, extending into what is now Canada. This stance brought the U.S. to the brink of war with Great Britain, both nations having joint occupation of the territory since 1818 under the Treaty of 1818. The dispute, however, was resolved without conflict through the Oregon Treaty of June 15, 1846, which established the 49th parallel as the boundary between British North America and the United States, excluding Vancouver Island, which remained fully under British control. This treaty effectively doubled the size of the United States and demonstrated Polk's aggressive yet successful foreign policy tactics. Number 6. The Secret Surgery. James K. Polk's secret surgery took place in 1812, while he was serving as the governor of Tennessee. Polk suffered from severe pain due to urinary stones, a common medical issue at the time that could be fatal if not treated. The surgery was performed by Dr. Ephraim McDowell in Kentucky, known as the father of abdominal surgery. McDowell performed the operation without anesthesia, which was not yet invented, with Polk reportedly being sedated with brandy. The procedure was risky and the secrecy likely stemmed from the societal stigmas of the time regarding surgery and the potential political repercussions of health vulnerabilities being publicly known. Number 7. Secrecy in slave trading. Throughout his presidency from 1845 to 1849, James K. Polk engaged in the practice of buying and selling enslaved individuals, which contrasted sharply with his public image. Polk was known to purchase enslaved children and young adults, aiming to keep enslaved families together only when it suited his financial interests. In private, he expressed a preference for young and effective slaves who would provide long-term economic benefits. This practice was kept secret to avoid public outcry and criticism, particularly from abolitionist movements and newspapers, which could damage his political reputation and contradict his public statements. Number 8. Territorial Expansion's dark side. James K. Polk's presidency is marked by significant territorial expansion of the United States. His aggressive push for the annexation of territories through the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, resulted in the U.S. acquiring over 1.2 million square miles of territory, including present-day California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and more. This expansion not only fulfilled the Manifest Destiny ideology but also deepened the national conflict over slavery. The newly acquired territories raised pressing questions about whether they would be admitted as free or slave states, exacerbating tensions that would eventually lead to the Civil War. Polk's policies and the territorial expansion they achieved were instrumental in shaping the future of the United States, but they also highlighted the moral and ethical dilemmas associated with America's growth. Number 9. The Polk Place Controversy. After his death on June 15, 1849, James K. Polk was initially buried in a mass grave at Nashville City Cemetery due to a cholera epidemic that had swept through Nashville. This was a temporary arrangement, and within a year, his body was moved to Polk Place, his Nashville residence, as per his wishes. However, the story doesn't end there. Due to disputes over the property after the death of Polk's wife, Sarah Childress Polk, in 1891, and differing interpretations of Polk's will, his body was exhumed and relocated again in 1893 to the Tennessee State Capitol grounds. This series of reburials and the legal battles over Polk Place underscored the complex legacy Polk left behind, impacting even the final resting place of the former president. Number 10. The Tariff of 1846. The Tariff of 1846, also known as the Walker Tariff after Polk's Secretary of the Treasury, Robert J. Walker, was a landmark piece of legislation that significantly reduced the average rates of the protective tariffs that had been in place. Implemented on July 30, 1846, it lowered duties from about 40% to 25%, encouraging trade and lowering the cost of goods for Americans. While this move was celebrated by many for promoting trade and benefiting consumers, it sparked intense debate regarding its impact on American manufacturers and workers, with critics arguing it would harm domestic industries by exposing them to foreign competition. Despite the controversy, the Walker Tariff is credited with increasing trade and contributing to the economic prosperity of the late 1840s. Number 11. The Gold Rush and Economic Boom. The discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill in California in January 1848, during the final year of Polk's presidency, triggered the California Gold Rush. Although Polk was not directly responsible for the discovery, his expansionist policies and the annexation of California following the Mexican-American War provided the framework for this pivotal event in American history. In his December 1848 address to Congress, Polk confirmed the discovery of gold, which accelerated migration to California and contributed to the economic boom of the mid-19th century. The gold rush not only led to California's rapid population growth and statehood in 1850 but also had a profound impact on the nation's economy and development, showcasing the far-reaching effects of Polk's presidency.